What's up, everyone? It's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be doing a little bit of a different video, as one of the things I want to mention before I start this video is that beginning on January 10th, or on my next video, I'm going to start covering the new sets coming out, starting with Amazing Defenders, moving on to Photon Hypernova, and then finishing it all with the Trap Trick structure deck sometime in February. I'll also be doing this video so that for the first time that you can learn a little bit about the person making the content that you watch. There will be a couple of honorable mentions towards the end, as I wanted to limit this video to 5 decks. But with all of that out of the way, before I begin, if you happen to enjoy content like this, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Starting off with number 5, I'll be showcasing Necros, and Necros is a deck that helped me stay in the game back when I was adapting to all the new meta. Duelist Alliance had just came out. I had taken a small break from around the time of Dragon Rulers until we got DUEA. It may have been a little bit before that, but specifics aside, I love the ritual aspect of Necros. It was the first ritual archetype we got, being a player from way back when the first came out. The only relevant meta deck that was ever a thing ritual-wise was Demise King OTK, and even then that wasn't great. But the concept around the Necros monsters themselves being ice warriors, using the armors of powerful ice dragons was just always awesome to me, along with the unique playstyle they carried, in which you would be able to discard your rituals for other pieces that you would want, or like Valkyrus here in hand, it can stop an attack. Just the different utility that you could get from the Necros monsters I thought was really nice, and made it stand out amongst other decks that had already been around for a while with concepts that weren't necessarily brand new, but more so hyper buffed. For number 4 on the list, and this is another deck that is near and dear to my heart, I have always played dark decks, as it is my favorite attribute, but Phantom Knights were literally an archetype I always wanted, even before they were first announced for the OCG. They had a lot of stuff that I liked that you could do, which was being able to combo heavy by having graveyard effects and abilities to special summon themselves like boots, and in the future we did get Torn Scales, which has been around since I think 2020. It basically created the deck that we know today with Phantom Knights, and that's just something I'm very appreciative for. And this combo here I'm showing is actually one of the combos that I've shown on this channel before, and I felt like it was perfect too, because it showcased everything I liked about the deck, being able to kind of change attributes with Mud Dragon or Verte back when we had Verte, and being able to go into your Rusty like that. Rusty actually being one of my favorite Link monsters of all time, as I just love the artwork. I love the concept for Phantom Knights in general, and I think it's also cool as you see me mill some traps that I can use those to special summon back bodies as well, so I can keep comboing. And I think this is an aspect that I started to like about the game when I was playing through Master Rule 4. Because funny enough, my love for combos didn't come with synchros, they came with Link monsters, and the precision that they introduced to combos. And as you can see, I'm also playing the tier cards here, and I wanted to keep the deck modernized, but that goes without saying that they introduced a new aspect to the deck through the milling that I thought is really fun. As you see, I also am able to use the Havness as a level 3 for the Break Sword, as I'm going to change the attribute of Mud Dragon and then go into Rusty. But another cool thing that I like here is that not only do I get to combo like a combo deck, but I also get to end my turn with a bunch of set cards which was also an aspect that I liked about the deck, with Fogblade being one of my favorite trap cards of all time. So for the third deck, and this isn't necessarily another DUEA deck, I'm starting this hand specifically with Constellar Sheraton, because I remember way back when on Dueling Network, when these first came out on there, they were called the Sacred, and they were kind of based on stars and constellations, but they were also really the first light archetype that I ever really liked as well. And while I wasn't too much of a fan of the Satellar Knight deck because of its linear playstyle, the Constellar support, or the Tellar Knight support really, has changed that a lot in the sense that you see them on hand traps, and I made a video on this not too long ago. To the extent that you can combo now and take a bunch of different play lines with different combinations of cards has just been an awesome addition for the deck, and has really made it a deck to stand out for me, which is why it's actually so high on the list. As you can see, I'm interchanging names here, going into Deneb, getting myself the Unu so that I can summon it off of the new Tellar Knight spell. Just the line of plays that you take and the options that you have, being able to go into stuff like Dag does, you'll see momentarily after I use the new rank 4 to get back to Skybridge and then copy the Altair's effect, giving us the extra bodies. It just feels rewarding when you combo, and I love that about the deck, as I'm going to go into Ptolemaeus, set the Skybridge to play around Dark Ruler, which is just another awesome part about the deck, knowing the utility that it has, and being able to do it with few cards while you're at it. It also provides a unique way to Scythe Lock, and I know that the Scythe Lock may not be everyone's favorite cup of tea, but it's really the fact that you can do it within its own archetype that is something I like about it. You can summon a Tellar Knight on your opponent's turn, get the Altea back from your graveyard, and then use it to pop the Scythe on your board and then revive it, and get your opponent under the Scythe Lock while also having multiple interruptions to play around, along with whatever's in hand. So for number 2 on this list, and I have to give it to an oldie, before Evil Heroes were even a thing, which Evil Heroes are my favorite among the whole bunch, there was Destiny Heroes, and while Evil Heroes may be my favorite of the hero line, Destiny Heroes are right there with them. They had a lot of cool cards. Now we can play a deck kind of closer to an actual Destiny Hero deck. I can't begin the amount of times I have to tell you that I had to use Armageddon Knight, or Grepher, and other stuff just to play with the D-Hero cards, so the change of pace over the last few years with these cards has definitely been nice. Having the ability to combo and a bunch of retrains of new Destiny Hero fusions and monsters, I guess I should say heroes in general really, has been a nice addition, as we also have cards like D-Force, which on its own isn't necessarily the greatest. It does protect your board from targeting if you control a D-Hero monster, and it also gets you into Plasma, which is also a really cool thing that I like about the card. I also like the way that the combos are sequenced here, which when we get Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, it will change again, and I take this combo line because if you've played with Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, you can kind of see what you would do from here with that, but because this is just TCG for now until those cards get here, I won't be showcasing them. And I think another thing that got me attached to this deck early was the fact that I grew up watching a lot of anime and superhero shows where anti-heroes were just kind of the best thing in the show, and Destiny Heroes providing that while also having a correlation to time was just another thing that stuck out to me. As if you've probably ever played Zelda, there's also the Hero of Time, and I thought that was also awesome as well. So you'll see that I'm going to finish this combo here by going into the Dread Decimator and then using the Fusion Destiny to go into the Dominance. And this is another line that I just love here. As you saw the Doom Lord, and I put that there because it's actually my favorite Destiny Hero card alongside Dark Angel, which we won't get off with this hand. I'm perfectly fine with it, and I'm still able to summon out some monsters that are definitely near and dear, and what you revive with Dominance can be what you use for your Plasma on your follow-up turn, as you're Destiny heroes will have protection off of the Dreadmaster that you summon back. The cool thing here is how you can also use the Dreadmaster to protect your Destiny heroes so that they can live that long. And now for number 1, and I will probably get hate for this, but Aluber is just my favorite level 4 of all time. I love the fact that Albaz has 2 dragon forms here with Rebellion and Albion in its original form. The fact it's a fusion deck is also awesome. New support just makes me even more hyped for the deck. And I also love its somewhat slow playstyle. You can critically think your plays through, and also giving you a lot of options playing out your hands. You see here, I'm going to start with the Lubellion, and have to say the artwork for this archetype is just phenomenal. Like Necros, it's another lore deck. Necros and Albaz having 2 of the cooler lores in my opinion. There are some other ones like the Visa Starfrost stuff and the traveling to the different planets and whatnot. It's definitely made for some cool decks. There's nothing like having a level 4 villain with a level 4 monster that has dragon forms. I don't know, it just matches that anti-hero slash villain thing that I've always loved. It comes to anime type stuff, which is where my love originally started for this game. Sakura actually being my first favorite character in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the original anime. It's kind of disappointing that we never got a real deck for it. Every time we got cool dark decks, I would always try to substitute it to make up for that. And it just feels like this deck has everything that I would look for in regards to that. Like Phantom Knights, you also have the ability to search back row, which is another thing I like about the deck. Even if something like Evenly can rear its ugly head, which we'll finally have a response for that soon. This deal's actually being part of this lore is something else I like too, as it's not just like everything else that just splashes them in because they're actually good. For the honorable mentions, I'd like to put in Zombies in Dark World. For obvious reasons as stated with number 1, just the amount of variations of zombies that I've played in the past. Orcus, the Lavolval combos, the Firewall Vendread combos, all the way back to Vampire Lord and Pyramid Turtle. It just provided that spark of love for those decks to keep me in the game. Anyways, that's all for today's video, and if you made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. If you want to leave your favorite decks, that's cool too. I'm always interested in hearing what other people have to say, and what keeps them in the game. But anyways, it's Bones, signing out.